folks, we are getting things going here on the stream. We are live, and yes, we are live. I wanted to pull up a couple of things, and I neglected to do that, so I'm going to do that right now. And I'm just gonna I'm just gonna talk over stuff. How can I go back to recently closed? What was I looking at? Yes, that's exactly what I'm looking at. Okay, cool. I got the stuff that I want. I got the things that I want to talk about as we go on and in this stream. And yeah, so it's 7 o'clock. Welcome back to Cheese League Baseball, our Cheese League Baseball tournament here. Of course, presented by Super Mega Baseball 3. And folks, we are going to be watching the final, possibly the final leg of this tournament, of this semifinal here, the Asiago Aeroplanes versus the Mozzarella Maneaters. Of course, you saw the Bree Boomerangs. They've already advanced, so no extra games needed. They swept that series. Let's get right into it. We are doing, let's see, this might be the, I think this is, let me go back to that bracket. I think this is the last, yes, this will be the last game at Big Sky Ballpark, the home of the Aeroplanes. So after that, we'll be going back to the Tiger Den. But as we've seen, balls just keep flying out of both these ballparks in this series. So yeah, so it's been lots of fun watching this action. And thank you as always for joining us here on Geek Cheese on Twitch, and if you're watching on YouTube, because again these videos are posted on our YouTube page afterward, thank you so much for catching up with us and watching on YouTube. And we're gonna get right into it. Tally Mitchell on for the home team, Asiago Aeroplanes. 9.39 ERA entering this game, not very good. And starts off Buddy Greeman with 3 straight balls. And works back. Full count. Greeman, of course, 302 average. Second baseman. To Mattingly out number 1. That's how things get started here on our evening stream of the Cheese League Baseball tournament. So 2 straight wins are needed by either team in order to secure their place in the final. So that's how that lays out. Aria Bell, 450 average. She's a pretty solid center fielder for the Mozzarella Maneaters. It goes down on strikes here. Quickly making me eat my words, and that's how we like to do it here on Geek Cheese. I did some gardening today, folks. We laid out a bunch of our stuff that we are doing. This should be the easy final out. And Mattingly has it, out number 3. Currently modding a fake baseball game and fly fishing fly tying channel at the same time. My resume is wild. That's awesome, yes. There's a base hit, fair ball down the left field line into the corners. A little small ballpark though. That'll just be a single. And that's how things start off for the Aeroplanes. They, seems like this team really wants it. Good speed on the base pass. I think that was Mattingly as well, leading off. Yeah, Ty and Flies, right? Ty Fish and Flies, something like that on Twitch. Go check him out. A buddy of ours. And again, down the third base line. Slow roller this time, but another single. Kind of almost a carbon copy right there. Ty Fish's Flies, that's what it is. And he's safe. Ash McIntyre now with nobody out and runners on second and third. Big chance here For the Aeroplanes to strike first. That one's fouled away. No, he kind of didn't look safe. It was a very, very close call. All right, base is juiced here. What is going on? Windswept Shepherd. That is gone. That is a grand salami for Miguel Russell. 428-foot jack. That's 42.8 manatees. 6 homer. 21st RBI of the tournament. He leads the whole damn thing with 20 whatever I just said, RBIs. So, and that one's hit quite well. That's going to be off the big wall. And Connor plays it well off the carom. Asiago Aeroplane striking first. Still go man-eaters there. I said it. The home run was hit just as I typed that. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's how it goes. All right, Windswept Shepherd already looking tense. She entered the game with like, I think right around a 4 ERA. It's now elevated to a 7, so that's not good. Greenman's there. That's the first out of this bottom half of the inning, folks. Yeesh. And here steps Jared Bugby. My back hurts from gardening. Got our lettuce. We got some beets. We got peas planted, folks. Urban gardening. That's fine. Fouled away. Yeah, I don't know how to do shadows. I forgot how to do a lot of that stuff. South flips the Greenman. That's all they get. Nice little play by Bertram South. The mozzarella shortstop. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. I might start watching Battlestar Galactica all over again. One of the best sci-fi shows ever. And not just the channel, just sci-fi genre. It's a base hit up the middle. Going to third. Aria Bell's got a pretty good arm, but slides in safely at third base. So runners on the corners. 2 outs. Butters Patrick, the catcher, in. And number 9 hitter for the Aeroplanes. Never saw it. It's pretty good. Shepherd there, like a puma, catches that one. A little hot shot back to her. 4-run bottom of the first for the Asiago Aeroplanes. So Mitchell now has the big lead here. Let's see if she can shut down these hitters. This is interesting. Quentin Jock looks tense, and also he's juiced at the same time. And I think that's what happens. You have two things canceling each other out, and it just results in a strikeout. Shortstop Bertram South steps in. There it is. There it is. Shout out giving the Ty Fishes flies. Booyah. Booyah, booyah. Tyler broke down all of rap, all of hip-hop to me one day, and it blew my mind how much he knows about hip-hop and beat construction and lyrics and syllable placement. He's freaking hilarious. Oh, he shouted us out. That's awesome. He's playing Post Malone, followed by Hank Williams currently. I still say that we should do a, we should just do like a music show where we just like go down the rabbit holes that we often go down whenever the three of us are together. We just share music amongst each other and just go down these YouTube rabbit holes. All right, so this is how it started last time, folks. It started with Trey Mattingly on base, and then it ended up with 4 runs. So let's see what happens here in this bottom half of the inning. Shepard looking tense out there on the mound. Ooh, that one gets away from, who's that? Smile catching today for the Maneaters. That means that no Spud in the game. And walked him. I can't imagine that Shepard's going to be in the game much longer, right? It just doesn't make sense. McIntyre, though, their bullpen has been exhausted. So 2 on, nobody out. Ash McIntyre up. Ball in the dirt, just bounced up there. That's a big 12-6 curveball. It's actually could be the fork ball. Actually, I take that back. That what I assumed as McIntyre's walk. What I assumed was the 12-6 curveball, which is I don't have a baseball around me. I typically do, but it's actually the forkball. That forkball has that downward action. Forkball in this game kind of acts like a knuckleball. All right, so this is the scenario last time. Bases loaded, Miguel Russell up, and he hit a grand slam. So let's see what happens this time. And he jacks one into the right center gap. Extra bases for sure. 1 run comes home. Here comes 2. They're waving the other one, and it's a bases clearing double. 7-0. The Asiago Aeroplanes open this game up in the bottom of the 2nd. And now Shepard looks rattled out there on the mound. That is a sky-high pop-up here at Big Sky Ballpark, because we could have a shot of the airport in the background. That is out number 1. In steps Donna Francis. She had a hit last game, and that was kind of noteworthy because she hasn't hit much. I think it was actually in the 9th inning that she got a hit. That 097. That's below the Mendoza line and then some. There's a base hit into right field. Francis on a hot streak. Don't call it a comeback. Runners at the corners. Sherrod Bugby in, the hot hitting right fielder. Two 2-0 on him. And 3-0 now. And walks him. All right, so if I am the Mozzarella manager, I'd be pulling her right now because she just gave up another walk. And yes, there it is. What do we know, kids? Walks, score, runs. Just like that. That is a jack. That is gone. That is another grand slam. Another grand slam. 382-foot shot. Howell's first homer, 5th RBI of the tournament. 11-0. Hey, Ben. Ben says hi. Hi to Ben. Ben, I heard you're taking down Skellies and Sea of Thieves. That's awesome. To Greenman, that is out number 2. Yes, 11-0. Yes, exactly. It's only the 2nd inning, too. And again, the Mozzarella bullpen has been used heavily. Heavily. My nephew texted me earlier and said, hey, do you want to play Sea of Thieves sometime? And I'm like, man, I've been playing Sea of Thieves a lot. Walked away for a sec, came back to a slaughter. Yeah, it's kind of ugly right now. I mean, being that Trey Mattingly is back up, which means they batted around the order, and that's out number 3. 11-0. And so Aeroplanes have batted around now 3 times. They batted around thrice. And I guess 2 and some. 2 and 1/9 times. It's a grounder to Russell, and that's out number 1. And we're just seeing the top third, or the bottom third rather, of the Maneaters lineup right now. Like I said, I think the Aeroplanes want this. They want to face off against those Bree Boomerangs. Especially, that could actually be a big home run affair. So we've got some big home run hitters on this Aeroplanes ball club. Grounder to McIntyre. Out number 2. Ash McIntyre looks like he has soft hands. I played softball with the guy, our shortstop, who ended up being kind of a jerk, but he had really soft hands. Like he fielded the ball so well, so clean. Everything was so clean. Everything was so fluid. And most of the time, he actually did it while smoking. That was the best part of playing beer league softball. Beer league church softball, where our shortstop would actively smoke while playing shortstop, and then also refused to join the church that we were supposed to be representing. He just kept saying, "They keep sending me mail. I keep throwing it out." Good times. Good times. Hashtag rebel, yeah. That's a base hit up the middle, right through the wickets. I'm just remembering the characters that we had. Oh, the characters that we had in that softball team now. We had a pitcher named, his name was Slick. So we all had our names on our jerseys. Greeman, nice little snare there for out number 1. We all had our names on our jerseys, and everybody had their last names. Except for Slick, who had Slick on the back. I still have no clue what Slick's real name is. Actually, no, Skip had Skip on the back of his jersey, too. I forget what Skip's real name was, too. He was our catcher. Just remember our third baseman. Our third baseman probably should have been playing minor league baseball somewhere. He's ridiculous. But outside, 2-1, 1 out. Yeah, our third baseman used to constantly yell at Skip, "Come on, Skip!" It was awesome. And then our left fielder, this is the 5-4-3 inning-ending double play. Our left fielder wore a bandana. Didn't wear a hat. Didn't wear a baseball hat. Wore a bandana. And straight up, it was like he was like he dressed like a pirate. Like we told him one day, we're like, "Dude, you look like a pirate." He goes, "I am a pirate." He straight up wore like a pirate bandana. He could have passed as a pirate. It was literally like freaking Average Joe's gym. That was our softball team. I am a pirate. I'll never forget that. I got into arguments with umpires during church league softball. Those are fun. So the Maneaters have 2-1, nobody out. Andre Wallace up 0 for 1 so far today. So looking to maybe string together a couple of hits. What the hell was it? Willis. Willis. That was the umpire's name. Ooh, nice diving try there by McIntyre. He knocks it down, keeps it in front of himself. It's very good. Most important thing is keep the ball in front of yourself. Ben, if you're still watching, that's what you want to do. You can use your body. Ball's not going to hurt you. Knock it down, keep in front of yourself, keep the play going. So, high fly pop up the Bugby. Out number 2. Of course, they're not going to send the runner. So 2 outs, runners second and third. Bertram South steps in. No, I did not say what you're talking about, Willis. No. Oh, no. I will. Let me regale you with this tale where I almost got thrown out of a church league softball game. That is jacked. Is that going to stay fair? Oh, just foul. Foul by a hair. And South off the fists. Pops it up to Howell. Out number 3. They strand a pair of runners. Big goose egg there again. Go to the bottom of the 4th. Donna Francis up 1 for 2. So I made a, let's see, what was it? Bases were loaded. It was a hot shot down to me at first base. I threw it to home, got the out, force out at home, and then the guy was still running. It was a very hard hit ball. The softball, obviously, softball is shorter. It's not 90 feet baselines. It's only, I guess, 60 feet. There's one out. And, I'm sorry, 2 outs. And Dixon is out. Now we're going to have Nicholas Grant come in. Kind of a long reliever here, Nicholas Grant, so he might work away, chip away at a couple of innings here for the Man-Eaters. But so, hot shot to me down at first. I throw home for the force out. And then the catcher throws back to me for the second out for the double play. So it would have been the 3-2-3 double play if you're keeping score at home. And Willis said that I came off the bag and called the runner safe at first, and I just went off. I said, Willis, that is terrible. You are terrible. Yeah, that was bad. He was the worst umpire, though. I will say that everybody in the league hated Willis because he didn't move. Oh man, this is small town America. We had this other umpire, Pee Wee. Pee Wee. Ooh, look at that. Drop third strike. Almost got the reach on that one. Pee Wee was this old. He was this old like army vet guy. You didn't really want to mess with him. He just had that crazy look in his eye. But Pee Wee was like very, very in the action at all times. We only have one umpire. It's Church League softball. So he was in the action at all times. He's always making sure he made the right call, always making sure he saw the plays and stuff. Willis would kind of just stand behind home plate, half the time leaning up against the backstop, and just didn't really move. So he had no angle whatsoever to know that I pulled, if I did pull my foot off the bag, which I didn't. But everybody in the league hated Willis. He blew so many calls for us. I think we ended up in second place. No, third place. Our team was in third place that year. Another quick half, top half of the inning for those Man-Eaters. They just can't seem to get things together. And Dee Bryan coming in now. Ooh, see that? Cam Smile has a meniscus tear. So Dee Bryan comes in as the catcher, the third string catcher, out of position. That is something to note. And Trey Mattingly back up again. 1-2. That one's fouled away. Reset 1-2 again, and that's a base hit up the middle. Pee Wee was great, though. Pee Wee had a missed call. My brother dove in center field, made an amazing diving catch, and Pee Wee called it a trap. He said, "It's a trap! It's a trap!" I'll never forget. It was amazing. Hearing Pee Wee say it's a trap. It's a trap! And my brother yelled at the umpire. We also had a team that was shattered bat, south dives, and just, I mean, there's nothing he can do about that. There's no chance he was going to get any runner. So now, excellent speed on the base pass. Runners on the corners. McIntyre back up. And again, the aeroplane's looking to make something happen. And that one gets away from... Man, he's... Ugh. I just feel bad for the catcher. I've been there. I've been there. Runner advances to second. And again gets by Bryan. And safe. And that's now 12-0 on the pass ball. I don't know why they didn't put Spud in. It's interesting. And again, by Bryan, the run comes home. 13-0. Another pass ball. He's out of position. I feel bad for him. I never forget. So we had a team in our league that everybody in the league hated this team. They tried to get the team kicked out of the league because they said they played dirty, and they did play dirty. I slid into second once, and that is a high fly pop-up to Wallace, and they're not going to send the runner. So 2 outs now. First and second for Donna Francis. I slid into second, and I remember the shortstop kind of purposely put his cleats down as I was sliding in. And he said, he was this big guy, this big a-hole. And again, it gets behind Brian, behind the plate. This is just rough. This is tough to watch. So it slid, I slid into second. He kind of spiked me a little bit. And he said, hey, shortstop, I hope you cut your leg up, or something to that effect. I just went off at him. I took the Lord's name in vain during this Church League softball game many a time. And again, just gets by Brian, and this is ugly, folks. This is very, very, very ugly. Fouled away. 2-2 on Bugby with 2 on, 2 out, bottom of the 5th, and that's a foul ball. And again, by Brian, and 15-0. I don't know why Spud Pepperonis isn't in. He's your other catcher. Why are you putting in the 3rd string catcher? Yes, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Yes, just yes to all of those emojis. Instead of the wheelchair guy falling down emoji's ridiculous. Over to Sal, across the diamond, 3rd out of the inning, and 4 more runs, 15-0. The Asiago aeroplane just beating up on the Mozzarella Man Eaters. I fell over. That's why. That's why the wheelchair guy's out. And 1 pitch, 1 out. Aria Bell steps in. Talia Mitchell, 70 pitches here. Top of the 6th, looking pretty locked in. How can you not be locked in? You have a 15-0 lead. Three and 2 pitch, and walked. I'm trying to think of anything else ridiculous that happened. All right, Mitchell's pulled for some reason. I don't know why. She was locked in. Turnip comes in, and now it's a bullpen game in the 6th. I'm trying to think of any other ridiculous things that happened. I mean, just playing softball was lots of fun.
Now batting, the 3rd baseman, number 30.
We actually had our best defender in the outfield. I forget his name. Our 1st or 2nd game, he tore his. He pulled like a Reese Hoskins and like tore his ACL or something. I don't know, but he didn't play the rest of the year. He was a really good defender out in left field. One of our other pitchers, he was a pilot, and he was an interesting character. He would fly. He would just be like, "Oh yeah, I was in Morocco last night." It's like. Just like I'm a pilot. I was in Morocco. He was in Spain the whatever year. I think it was Spain or Italy or something. He was in Europe when oh, what?
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 36.
Okay. You just don't do that. You just don't do that. Trying to hot dog it out there in center field. Kids, you catch. two hands. This is why you catch with two hands. So you don't hot dog it, so you don't drop the ball and let 2 runs score. We got a 15 to friggin' nothing lead. Ridiculous. Sloppy. Sloppy, sloppy. Anyway. The Howl flips, and again, the defense is falling apart for the Aeroplanes in this inning. That brings up Kenneth Connor with the bases juiced. Connor's not known for his power, but this is a short porch in left field in favor of the right-handed hitter. The 2-2 count. And hit quite well. That's in the gap. That is going to be a 2-bagger for sure. 1 run comes home. Here comes 2. Here comes 3. Connor's going for 3. It is an RBI triple, 15 to 5. The Mozzarella Man-Eaters are coming back. Marker Harden steps in. And Bryant looks rattled, which, yeah, I mean, sure. He let like 3 runs go, and he's also looks really terrible at the plate, and hits that one off the end of the bat, and that's the final out of the inning. I don't know why that Spud Pepperonis is put in. It doesn't make any sense, but Man-Eaters get 5 runs back. It's still 15 to 5, but nonetheless, starting to chip away. There we go. Finally, Spud behind the plate where he belongs. Nicholas Grant in on the mound now for the Man-Eaters. Back to the Pilot story, though. I remember him telling us when the World Cup was somewhere in Europe. I think it was Spain. He was like, yeah, I'm going to be in Spain on Thursday. I'm not going to make the game because not going to make the game on like Saturday or whatever it is. He's like, because I'm going to stay in Spain for the World Cup. So he's just flying in. Just hung out in Spain for the World Cup. He said it was bananas. He said it was one of the best times he ever had. So, yeah, he had lots of wild stories. So, calmly and quietly, folks, Nicholas Grant has a quick 1-2-3 inning, quieting those Asiago Aeroplanes bats. Brings up Buddy Greenman, top of the order here for the Mozzarella Man-Eaters. So they're looking to get something going. Marker Harden back on the bump again for the Aeroplanes in this inning. And that won't do it. That's just a grounder to the second baseman. In steps Aria Bell. I did want to talk about a couple of things coming up, a couple of baseball-related things. I know last time that we were all together this morning, we talked about Cal Ripken Jr. and the failed pitcher Hideki Irabu for the New York Yankees. But I did want to talk and give everyone the heads up about the home openers for both the New York Yankees and Philadelphia Phillies. New York Yankees home opener is this coming Thursday, the 30th. And that's going to drop in. That's a base hit. So, 2-out base knock keeps the inning alive for the Man-Eaters. And that brings up Quentin Jock. Looking juiced again. Juiced and tense, and he's 0 for 3, so that kind of rules everything out, cancels everything out. Be nice to get a home run, though. His power stats are elevated. The Yankees start the season home opener on Thursday versus the San Francisco Giants. I'm sure Garrett Cole will be pitching because another one of our pitchers went down with an injury. So that's fantastic. Runner goes, and out number 3. The Philadelphia Phillies, their opener, their first game of the 2023 baseball season is against the Texas Rangers. I'm sure we'll see Jacob deGrom, who's the guy I couldn't think of earlier, pitching for the Rangers, former Met Jacob deGrom, and I'm guessing Nola, but maybe Nola or Wheeler. I don't know if the Phillies announced their opening day starter yet. But we shall see.
Now pitching, number
All right, we
60.
got Dude coming in. We've seen him quite a bit. So Keith Dude coming in out of this bullpen. Miguel Russell back up to the dish. "24 RBIs for Miguel Russell. Have yourself a tournament." Full count. And walks him. So Russell works the walk. One other thing that is important and is of note
Hitter, number 26.
to me, if nobody else, is the upcoming Seattle Kraken schedule, which I will go through as soon as we see Sherry Droop here. 2-2, 2 out, or 2-2, 2 on, and pops this one up sky high. Home run and silo right to Spud Pepperonis for the first out. Donna Francis steps in. So, any hockey fans out there, and we are a Seattle Kraken hockey broadcast. The Kraken, I noticed their schedule coming up, and it kind of scared me a little bit. So 2 outs, 2 on now. 0 for 2 is Jared Bugby. And a liner to Agreement, out number 3. The Seattle Kraken play the Wild tomorrow. It's an early game for us here in the East Coast, an 8 p.m. game. But then they play the Ducks, they play the Kings, they play the Coyotes, they play the Canucks, play the Coyotes, they play the Blackhawks, they play the Coyotes, and then the final 2 games of the season are against the Golden Knights. That's a lot of teams out in the West Division, Pacific Division, that we need to face off against. And those are a lot of very important games that we need to win as the Seattle Kraken. So, especially those last 2 games against the Golden Knights, that scares the hell out of me. That's a base hit, so quick 2 hits here, 2 singles for the Man-Eaters. Can they? All right, we got Valencia coming in, and Harden's out. We got Duarte coming in. Just heard a peacock coming from Ty's stream. Had to go make sure he wasn't violating guidelines. Okay. That is a grounder, and that is a 6-4-3 double play. Runner advances to third. Brings up Kenneth Connors, having a good day at the plate, 2 for 3. With 2 outs here, top of the 8th. We need, Seattle Kraken needs 7 wins to get in the playoffs. This is the test for this team. I think we have a lot of elements there. I think our goaltending needs to step it up. I don't know what's going on with Grubauer. Grubauer was taken out of the game 2-3 games ago, and then I don't know if I've seen him since. I don't know what's going on with him. He's sick or something. He had a sniffle. The German gentleman. But yeah, those last 2 games against the Golden Knights especially are scary. But this is interesting though, because I'm probably gonna watch all of the hockey playoffs. I'm so excited about it. Even if the Kraken aren't in it, which they damn well better be in it. Hockey is very quiet with injuries. This is very true. It is very, very interesting. Unless that's just a Kraken thing. I don't know. All right, we've got Butters Patrick in with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. The Yankees, I mean, everybody knows every injury that's happened on the Yankees. Freaking Luis Severino just went down with a lat or something like that, and he's going to be out. So we have 2. With Garrett Cole, and we have nasty Nestor Cortez. And maybe Herman, maybe Clark Schmidt. I don't know who the 3rd starter. I don't even know. Frankie Montas is out. Rodon, who we got in the offseason, he's injured. It's goddamn Yankees. I don't think we have a shortstop yet. I don't think we have a left fielder. Not entirely sure who our center fielder is. Second base might be a problem. Third base is kind of an issue that we don't want to say is an issue, but is kind of an issue. Freaking Yankees. Now I'm depressed. Okay, let's go back to this game. Ball in the dirt. Good block by Spud. Keep that in front of him. It's a strikeout. 2 outs now. 2 on. McIntyre up. Now I'm noticing something interesting, and it's a grounder to Greenman. He's been busy. Out number 3. Going to the top on the 9th of the Aeroplane's looking to put this one in the bag. Curious how the algorithm works in this game. So I'm noticing a lot of off-speed stuff coming from the man-eaters. It'd just be interesting if that is based on how the team is rated. It'd just be fascinating to find that out.
The second baseman, number 2.
One quick out here, and now steps in Buddy Greenman. Duarte looking locked in as he scratches himself. And there's a strike. And there's another strike. 2-2. And just go at him at this point, dude. Ooh, just past the diving Mattingly into left field.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 20.
I'm trying to think if I liked any other hockey team. If I had to pick like a second hockey team that I was a fan of. Minnesota Wild might be it, because I like their jerseys. I like what they do. We all know my disdain for the Nashville Predators, which now I'm getting Nashville Predators gear pushed to me on ads because I screamed about them possibly yesterday or today. I forget how long ago that was. The Asiago Aeroplanes win this game, folks. They win it handedly. 5-9-0 to 15-12-2. They did have 2 errors. But just, I mean, just an absolute display of power and just run producing. Of course, Howell and Russell with the big grand salamis. Shepard gets the loss. Talia Mitchell gets the win. And, of course, Russell and Howell get the top nods there, the 1s and 2s. So let's go back to the Tiger Den and see what happens in this series. Aeroplanes win it, or leading it rather, 3-2. So if they win now, they can clinch the series and clinch their spot in the final. Maneaters playing for a Game 7. And this field just was so small. It's just such a small ballpark. I absolutely love like Japanese and Korean baseball. The more I look at the teams, the more I look at the players and the strategies and the way they play. It's just so fascinating, so different, yet so similar and familiar. It's like it's amazing. There's a team called the Dinos too. I mean, I think it's in the Korean League, KBO. I mean, how can you not be a fan of a team named the Dinos? I tried to buy Dinos gear, but I can't find any websites that aren't in Korean. Sherry Droop in now, looking tense at the plate as Grover Growler is on the mound. 2-seamer, 4-seamer, change-up curveball for him, and he's throwing lots of curveballs right out the gate. And there's a strike. Down on strike she goes, and in steps McIntyre, who's looking locked in. Fouls that one off. And again, another foul ball. Down on strikes goes McIntyre. Quick top half of the first, and here come the Maneaters. So interesting thing to note, actually, I believe the Maneaters took both games of the series at their home ballpark. I think, and I think the Aeroplanes just won 3 straight. I think. So, we'll see what happens. A walked agreement leads off the bottom half of the first. That brings up Aria Bell. I think all of her homers have come at the Tiger Den. There's a strike from Steve Dickerson on the hill. We saw him not too long ago. Down on strikes. And Andrew Kerr steps up with a runner on first. 1 out here in the bottom half of the first. Kerr's having a great... Ooh, that's foul. Thought that was going to curve fair or stay fair. Down the line. 3-2 on him. Popped it up. Sky high. Out number 2. And Bertram South steps up. Now with 2 outs, runner on first. South has struggled. 7 RBIs though. Look at that. Good for him. Just a little bit below the Mendoza line. Oh, there's that weird issues happening. If you see in the crowd, folks, behind home plate, there's these 2 guys with their shirts that looks like static on a TV. I don't know why it does that. A couple, for some reason, there's only a couple of, I don't know if it's a color or something like that. It's odd, but it happens every now and then in this game. It's a weird little glitch. 0-2 on Valencia. Takes the ball high and outside. 1-2. And Dickerson almost hits him in the knee with that one. 2-2. And a looping curve high in the zone. He pops it up. Out number 3. They strand a pair of runners. Going to the top of the second. 4, 5, and 6 for the Aeroplanes. Thank you, as always, for joining us on our stream. If you are new to the stream, if you're new to us here on YouTube, be sure to, if you're watching on YouTube, that is, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Geek_Cheese. Same handle on TikTok. I was working on TikTok, I think, last night or Friday night. Putting way too much effort into it. Base hit there. Brings up Jared Bugby, the runner on first. Talk about, yeah, I think we talked about what Growler has. His arsenal for the southpaw. South. Diving stop. Gets the sure out at first. Runner advances. And that brings up Frown. One and 2 on Frown. Down the strikes he goes. Go for Growler out there. Doing some work. And steps Donna Francis. Donna Francis is out of the zeros now. She's batting 118. Good for her. The 0-2 pitch from Growler. Ball little outside. And a little hot shot to Greenman, out number 3. Bottom of the second we go. 6, 7, 8 due up for the Mozzarella Maneaters. In front of a sold-out crowd at the Tiger Den. That is a base hit through the left side. A little inside-out swing there for, I believe, Wallace, right? Now Spud steps in. These Spud heads out there. Ooh, a little chin music. Brushing him off the plate. And a hit and run action, but they turn 2. Look at that.
Fielder, number 53.
Little hot shot. They turn two. Spud doesn't run well. I think that's why they're able to turn two to begin with. Mattingly fires across the diamond, and a quick bottom half of the inning.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 10.
April 13th is the last game of the hockey season for the Seattle Kraken. That's an important date to note. It is coming so quick, I can't even believe it. The only downside to liking Seattle Kraken is that they play so damn late for being here in the East Coast. That one's fouled away down the right field line. But catching the recaps, watching the recaps is great. Looking at the box scores, you know, it's funny. I do the same thing with hockey now that I do with baseball. I watch recaps, I look at the box scores, I'm looking at the stats, I'm seeing how guys are doing, I'm seeing their points, I'm seeing how many goals they scored. Down on strikes he goes, and quick inning there for Growler. It's fun. Hockey is very similar to baseball, and actually, just in terms of like the analytics that they get into, in terms of you know, it's a rigorous schedule. The fact that the goalies get wins and losses, just like pitchers get wins and losses. It's been interesting. I never even realized this. Down on strikes he goes. Round number one. I never even thought about this or realized it too, but it's another game where it's a wood stick and an object that you're hitting around. Just made that connection the other day. I was like, oh yeah, how about that? Maybe that's why I like it. Something that's kind of familiar. So that's a base hit into center field. So the Man-Eaters get a base runner here in the bottom of the third.
The center fielder, number 20. Ball outside.
Patrick throws him out at second, and failed attempt at a stolen bag. And if Aria Bell gets a base hit here, that would be devastating, because that would be potentially a run to break the scoreless tie, but it's not. It's a little grounder over there to shortstop to end the inning. Top of the fourth we go. 2-3-4 due up for the visiting Aeroplanes. Hockey is so quiet with their injuries. Oh yeah, we said that. Very quick. Yeah, the season went by so quick. It's crazy. Down on strikes. Very emphatic there. The umpire. Very emphatic. Ash McIntyre steps in.
Ball, that's up. That's inside.
2-0. McIntyre fouls that one. And 2-2, and down on strikes, the big loop and curve. That brings up Miguel Russell, the home run hitting machine that is Miguel Russell. He golfs that one through the little chip shot underneath the pitcher into center field. And runner on first now for Bugby, who jacks one high and far and foul, as the baseball bat bros on YouTube would call it, foul dinger. 0-2, and now the 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch again, and that's a base hit. Gets all the way to the wall. And Russell is going to third. Bugby going for 2, and it's a 2-out double. And the Aeroplanes are threatening here, folks. Again, they're playing for a spot in the final, so they want to win this game. Fouled away. Slow roller to south. That was a lot closer to first base than it should have been. Bertram South kind of lazy threw that over. lollipopped it.
Number 36.
Man, when I was a catcher back in the day in Little League, I remember I always had a pretty strong arm as Kerr goes down and strikes. So I could do like what the pros do. You know, I could, as a catcher, I can go to my knees and then throw the ball back to the pitcher. Whereas most kids at that level had to get up and had to kind of like do a whole wind up to throw the ball back to the pitcher. And I could throw it from my knees. I could throw down to second base as well if somebody was stealing. I just remember our other catcher just lollipop it up there. Travis Valencia, 0 for 1 today. The best catcher I think I ever played with is this kid named Derek. Derek was he was the epitome of, I guess, redneck, white trash kind of. Was missing 2 teeth in the front. I think they got knocked out in like some type of ATV accident, something like that. 7-8-9 due up for the aeroplanes in the top of the 5th. Still scoreless, folks. And he's a big kid. He was like a big, thick kind of country boy kid. Man, he had the best arm I have ever seen on a catcher. He was so good. He was so quick too for being a big guy. So, you know, sometimes big guys are quick. You look at like a player like a Kirby Puckett, for example, or Tony Gwynn, another good example. Guys that are bigger guys but are surprisingly quick, surprisingly light in their feet. And quickly 2 outs here on top of the 5th. Butters Patrick. Seems like every time I look down, Butters Patrick is up. But, you know what? That's an exercise. That's what we're going to do right now, folks. Patrick fouls that one down. We're going to look up something that's kind of hilarious, I bet. Down on strikes he goes. Still scoreless. Bottom of the 5th. The Mozzarella Man-Eaters coming to the plate. This is what we're going to do. We're going to look at... So Tony Gwynn... This is just a fun exercise. Tony Gwynn played for 20 years in Major League Baseball. Hall of Famer. 338 batting average. And down on strikes. Goes and Spud Pepperoni steps into the box. 65th pitch coming here for Steve Dickerson, by the way. Looking pretty locked in out there on the mound. A screwball is weird. It's like kind of deceiving, I guess, for a lefty because it looks like it's coming in at your kneecaps and then has that lateral movement. Kind of sneaks back over the plate. So 2 outs now. Kenneth Connor up. 0 for 1 today. So we... fouled away. Loopback just sent something that does look pretty cool. That is 3rd out. This is the top of the 6th. This is also Trey Mattingly. This is also top of the order. There's also Grover Growler, who is 75th pitch is coming on the way. He's on fire out there on the mound for the Mozzarella Man-Eaters. All right, folks. So let's take a look at this. I lost all of my stuff here. How did I lose it? There we go. Mattingly goes down on strikes. Droop steps in. So Tony Gwynn played 20 years. All of his professional baseball career, he played for the San Diego Padres. He's a Hall of Famer. His batting average, .338. OPS 847, OPS plus 132. That's very good. That's where league average is 100. The most important thing I'd like to point out, though, Tony Gwynn, in his career, has, this is funny, 434 strikeouts in his whole entire Major League Baseball career, spanning 20 years. That is 2,440 games. And this is going to be a double play to end the inning. And let's see, how many plate appearances? 10,232 plate appearances, equating to 9,288 at-bats. He had 434 strikeouts. Grounder to Trey Mattingly, out, number 1. Giancarlo Stanton, the Yankees' current right fielder DH, I guess you can call him, left fielder DH, has played 13 years in the big leagues. He's had 1,400 games, 6,000 plate appearances, 5,237 at-bats, and in, what is that, almost, is that almost like half? Kind of half, almost half, a little more than half, I guess, of the time. Just a little more than half of the amount of games played and stuff of Gwynn and plate appearances. He has 1,696 strikeouts. So Tony Gwynn in his 20-year career has 434 strikeouts, and Giancarlo Stanton in his 13-year career has 1,600 strikeouts. It's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. I just don't... Strikeouts are just like nothing nowadays for guys. It's crazy. So when you think about that back then, as we go to the top of the 7th here, folks, still scoreless in this fantastic little simulated fake baseball game. So when you think about it back then, you had Nolan Ryan striking out guys like at a crazy clip. But he worked really, really hard for those strikeouts because strikeouts really weren't a thing. It's a nice little trap there by Connor in left field to keep it in front of him. But 2 on now. Nobody out for Kobe Frown. Big chance here for the Aeroplanes to make score some runs, make a dent here. Open this game up. So Nolan Ryan, I mean, those pitchers back then had to... They just really, really had to... It's a agreement. South 4-6-3 double play. Runner goes to third. So Donna Francis, big opportunity here. Big pressure situation. Base hit, scores a run. Gets the Aeroplanes on the board. No, I don't think Gwynn is the leader in that stat. I don't, the strikeouts versus at-bats, I don't believe so. But yeah, so I mean, the pitchers just had to work harder for strikeouts back then. Nowadays, a guy will strike out 3-4 times in a game and just not bat an eye. It's just like, oh, well, that's, that's what it is. 2 South, out number 3, and the game remains scoreless. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the home team Man-Eaters. Andrew Kerr steps in the box. It is wild to think about because the game has changed so much. There's more emphasis on power, more emphasis on... it'd actually be interesting to see. I bet you in the amount of time that strikeouts have increased, walks have probably increased too, because it becomes such a money ball type of game. It's become such an analytically driven game that you can have a guy that'll strike out 200 times a season and hit 242 for you, but have an amazing OPS because he walks a lot, and that's what people want. People want guys on base. So if you have a high on base percentage, you're a high on base guy. That means that you got runners on the bases. That means that you have more opportunities to score. So that's Moneyball. That's how the A's have built their team. Billy Beane. And again, another double play. And that's how a lot of teams look at it now. Dickerson, 92 pitches right now, on fire. Grounder to Howell, and that is out number 3. 8-9-1 due up for the Asiago Aeroplanes in the 8th inning. This game is such a pitcher's duel, but Grover Growler, he was flashing in the red at the end of the last inning, so figured that we'd see the bullpen. And he gave a hell of a pitching performance and gave the bullpen some much-needed rest. Down on strikes goes Howell. Snaps the bat. And in steps Butters Patrick. All right, no, we're going to have Carlisle Hardcore come in as a pinch hitter. And Hardcore hits a hard ball down into the corner. Strike number 1. Brushes him off the plate. Down on strikes he goes. In steps Trey Mattingly, 0 for 3 today. Very uncharacteristic day for him. Popped up in front of the big wall, out number 3. Still scoreless, folks. Bottom of the 8th. Andre Wallace will lead it off for the Maneaters. And, all right, Ruiz going behind the plate. Down to Russell. Now number 1. And in steps Spud Pepperonis. These are big pressure situations, folks. Every at-bat, just because Maneaters are playing for life in the tournament, as Spud hits a base hit up the middle, and the Aeroplanes are playing for the chance to advance and win the Cheese Cup. All right, Dickerson's out. I think he's right around 100 pitches anyway, and Duarte comes in, the closer. Obviously not in a save opportunity, but see what happens. Popped up, a high fly pop-up. Frown is there, out number 2. I should actually go through and some of the walk-up music for these players, I should go through and kind of switch it up, because there are a lot more walk-up songs in Super Mega Baseball 3. There's a couple of ones that are pretty neat. I actually haven't heard. It's like a salsa kind of inspired one. I haven't heard that one in a while. Down on strikes goes Griffith. Top of the 9th, folks. Here we go. 2-3-4 due up for the Aeroplanes. Can they get a run? Can they make it happen? Let's see what happens. Keith Dude on the mound. Slow roller to south. Lazy throw. Out number 1. If I had to pick my own walk-up music, I for sure would pick Overkill by Men at Work. That would be my walk-up song to go up to the plate. Foul ball. Down the line. McIntyre looks at... Ooh, that was a little weird pitch. Ooh, hot corner. Kerr is there. Out number 2. Miguel Russell steps in. 3 for 3. 3 singles for him. Locked in. Look at his power number. Look at his power chart. It's ridiculous. It's all the way up. It's maxed out. 3-0. They're going to walk him. Oh, no, maybe not. That's gone. Oh, where's that going to land? Second deck, third deck power. Miguel Russell. Third deck dinger, 400-foot even. That's 40 even manatees. 7th home run, 25th RBI of the tournament. Scores the run that the Asiago Aeroplanes are looking for. Keith Dude's out. Harry Henderson's in. And could that seal the deal for the Maneaters? We are going to see what happens. K-Man activated for Harry. And the Hendersons, down on strikes goes Bugby. So, 1-0. Top of the order due up for the Man-Eaters. Can they tie the game? Can they take the lead? Can they win it? Can Duarte keep these bats cold? Let's see what happens here. 1-2 on Greenman. Ball skipped in the dirt. And fouled away. 2-2. Got him. Strike 3, out number 1. In steps Aria Bell. Fouled away. We've seen Bell hit some big dingers here at her home ballpark. So a high called strike, 1-2. Tried to get her to chase in the dirt, 2-2. Duarte already, for some reason, in the red. McIntyre makes the diving catch. All right, Duarte's going to get pulled here. Midtown comes in. The runner on first. Andrew Kerr steps up. Chance to be the hero. So a backdoor breaking pitch, 0-2. 1-2 now on Kerr. Popped it up. Long run for Francis. Out number 2. Final out. Can Bertram South, who's 0 for 2 with a walk today, can he do it? Can he be the hero for the Man-Eaters? Keep their hope alive. That would have been terrible if it would have ended on a pickoff. That would have been absolutely horrible. 0-2. The funny story about a pickoff and a pitcher who did just that. 0-2 on South. Tried to get him to chase outside. The 1-2 pitch coming. Again, they check on the runner. Passed. And Bugby fires into third. The runner advances. So on the corners now, folks. Fans in the stands, all on their feet. Big, big moment here. Valencia fouls that one away. Can Midtown do it? 0-2. Tough out activated for Valencia. Down on strikes he goes. That's it. Man-Eaters lose the game. The Aeroplanes win. And they advance to the final. It's a quick story. Let's go look through these stats first. So 1-7-0 to 0-6-0. That Miguel Russell home run sealed the deal for the Asiago Aeroplanes. Not a whole lot of offense. These teams just couldn't string anything together. There's a lot of good pitching performances. Grover Growler, Steve Dickerson did great jobs, but Duarte gets the win. Duke gets the loss. Midtown gets the save. Top 3 players there, of course. And that seals it up, folks. The final is set. It's the Asiago Aeroplanes. Let's look at this detailed bracket. The Asiago Aeroplanes facing off against the Bree Boomerangs in the finals for the Cheese League Cup. So real quick story about pickoff moves. If you're not familiar with Tippy Martinez was a pitcher, a relief pitcher for the, I think the world champion at that time, the Baltimore Orioles. And cool thing about Tippy Martinez is that he came into a game with the bases loaded, out of the bullpen, bases loaded, and there was an injury, or several injuries had happened during the game to the Orioles catchers. For whatever reason. So they put in their third string catcher as a guy who honestly had never caught, I guess, before in his life. So he was nervous behind the plate. Catcher didn't know what to do. And Tippy Martinez was a pretty hard thrower. So calls him out, calls the catcher out, and he's like, just don't worry, I'll take care of this. So we'll get through this inning. So again, bases loaded. So what does Tippy Martinez do? No outs also. No outs. That's important. So what does Tippy Martinez do? He comes in the game and he picks off all 3 runners on first, second, and third. Does not throw a ball to home at all. And that is a crazy Tippy Martinez story. That is a crazy baseball story. And I had an awesome chance to meet Tippy and spend some time with him. And hearing him tell his story is great. He just lights up. And he's a fantastic storyteller. Just the way he tells it, he just lights up. He's awesome. But yeah, that's cool. It's a cool little baseball story there for you. Very humble guy too. We'll say that. Tippy Martinez, extremely humble guy, and got to meet Scott McGregor too at that time. And talk about another humble, just a humble, generous guy. Actually, he gave me a hat when I was there with him. Anyway. So we are going to see the finals. They begin on Wednesday, folks. On our Wednesday stream, we will watch the first 2 games of our Cheese Cup finals. You see the matchups there. Yeah, Boomerangs, Aeroplanes. My money has always... Well, actually, my money was on the Provolone Prospectors to win the whole thing. But I had the Prospectors facing off against the Boomerangs. Did not anticipate or expect the Aeroplanes to make it this far. So I don't know. Maybe they're the underdogs. We shall see. But that is it for me right now. And we will see you guys back here on Wednesday around 7 o'clock, streaming on Twitch. Obviously, these games posted back on YouTube, so check it out. Check out our YouTube page. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on TikTok. All that kind of fun stuff. And we will see you guys then for the Cheese Cup Finals. All right, folks. Check it later. Have a good night. Bye.